Hey guys, Demon here, and today, as you can see right here, we are reviewing Days Gone, the video game. So I played this video game to completion, at least on the story missions. I have done some of the side missions here and there, and they're okay, but I did complete the story mission, and I completed the majority of the game, including leveling up and stuff like that. So let's talk about this game. First thing I want to say about this game is that it has ridiculously long loading times. That's a really big problem. Most games nowadays shouldn't have those loading times. Some games still do, I think, but the majority of games don't. And I think that's a big problem that the developers need to work on. Not saying it's bad, I'm just saying you need to work on these loading times. They're ridiculously long. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, so let's talk about the main story. So the main story of this game, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to tell you my general feelings of this main story. I feel like it was very predictable, to be honest. Sadly, it was very predictable. It was kind of average. And I didn't get really invested into it until like the very end, when like the stuff started to happen more excitingly. I did not get invested into it at the very end, at least. And the reason why for that is because of something that I'll get into in a second. But in the story, it's kind of average. Uh, it's kind of average. It's not really not the best story. It's not the best story. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. And I didn't get into it to the very end, as I already said before. And the reason why is because of the missions. So the missions were okay. They were fine. But they were all jumbled up. And there are a few missions I did not like at all. But let's talk about the jumbled up mess that the missions were. Basically, you would do a mission for this guy, and then you'd have to do a mission for this girl, and then so on and so forth. And there was like several story arcs, which I do not mind in the game. But what I would have preferred is to have these story arcs all at once. So I could pick which story arc I wanted to go on and then pick the other story arc later, you know? Like, what if I wanted to focus on my wife, which is a part of this game? What if I wanted to focus on her story arc? Or what if I wanted to focus on my best friend's story arc? Or, this one story arc for another chick, and this one story arc for this camp sort of thing. What if I wanted to focus on those story arcs, but they didn't let you do that? They just gave you these story arcs just by the by, you know? There's like, focus on this, focus on this, focus on this. And they didn't give you a choice. They only did it one at a time, and it was all mixed up, mumble jumbled up. And it was kind of annoying, to be honest. I wanted there to be more control over what story arc I wanted to pick first, and then I could go back to the others. I'm not saying you can't cut out that story arc at a certain point, and then we can go to the others, and once we finish the others, we can go back to that story arc. I'm just saying I would like to have multiple story arcs. I mean, I don't mind having multiple story arcs, but I'd like it if I can choose the story arc I want to do at that specific time. That would have put me more into, that would have put me like, it would have drawn me in more. It would have made me care about these characters more. Instead of just being like, oh, I guess I'm doing this guy's story arc, then this girl's, then this guy's, then this, you know. It was a bunch of kind of jumbled up mess, which didn't get me invested at the beginning, which was sad. But yeah, like the story arcs need to be better. Something in here that I would also say is maybe give me a little bit more choice in there, you know, in my story arcs. Like, give me some choice into, like, what I want to do, you know? Right now, I'm kind of just like a passenger sometimes in these cutscenes where they're like, oh, we should do this, but then I'm just like, okay, let's do that, but then they don't give me the option to do it or anything like that, which kind of sucks. I had the same problem with Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, where they didn't give you enough choices. I feel like this game should have had an opportunity to give me more choices. So yeah, like, the missions, they're fine. But I wish they would have made it so you could actually go to mission that you wanted to, instead of like making it this jumbled up mess sort of thing. And then there's these three types of missions that I did not like that much. Let's start off with the worst one. It was the Horde. The worst one was when they forced you to go to the Hordes and kill them. Now there was only about 4 or 5 of these. I think there was only 4. And I didn't mind that. I don't mind that you use this mechanic in the game. That's really cool because it's a mechanic in the game, and I expected you to use it in the story at some point. But the way you used it was kind of stupid for at least two of them, and then the second two were pretty nice. So the first one is when you go to this giant horde and you have to kill them for the army that you're working for. Um, and you have to kill them all in this one stretch of place. And if you go too far, the mission will restart. It's kind of dumb, um, and it's kind of annoying because there's not enough like explosives around. Which I get, that's kind of realistic. Obviously, it's a street. There's not gonna be much explosives around, but I feel like there should have been more explosives around, more things to do. Because as soon as this horde starts chasing you, that's it. You're stuck there until you beat them. Because if you don't, you'll fail the mission. And that mission took me like half an hour to complete. I just wish it would have gave me a little bit more assistance on that mission because I couldn't go away. If I did, I would have been like had to restart the mission. The second one I hated was when they put me in a small cave, and they're like, a horde's coming, and I'm just like, oh, I should run away, but they didn't give me that option. I did run away once, but I got too far and it restarted the mission. So what I had to do was kill a wave of freakers. Then I had to kill another wave of freakers. Luckily, it was two very small hordes, I guess, but it was still a ridiculous amount of hordes in this small confined space. And I feel like more realistically, me personally or my character maybe would have ran away. I feel like we should have had options. I feel like we had no options, and there should have been options. I should have had the option to run away if I wanted to run away because I did want to run away, but it did not let me. It's just like, no, you gotta deal with these things and you gotta kill them. And it didn't help that I was having a minor glitch at the time where I could not pick up the objects on the floor, so I couldn't pick up this extra like grenades and stuff. It just the game would not let me, so I had to kill all these things, and it was ridiculous because I died a bunch of times. Which is another thing. Glitches in this game are ridiculous sometimes, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Um, but anyways, so yeah, like the horde thing was stupid in the cave. I feel like there should have been an option to get out of the cave sneakily. And I also don't know how the horde spotted me in the cave in the first place. Because as soon as I got in the cave, they knew I was there. They ran down there and tried to kill me, right? But I didn't make any noise or anything like that. And in the game, like when you go up to a horde, you can actually sneak up to a horde pretty damn close before they spot you. But in this cave, they instantly knew and they instantly attacked. That was kind of dumb. That's like ignoring their own logic, I guess, which is kind of stupid. So maybe don't do that. Maybe don't put me in a confined space where I have to do this, and if I don't, I'll fail the mission. It's kind of dumb. But obviously, I got good. Most people would say, "Well, just get good." I got good, and I beat this. I beat the stupid thing, but it was just stupid, to be honest. And then the second mission I didn't like the most was the chasing missions when they said you have to chase this guy, but don't kill him. Just shoot at his bike and destroy it, and then catch him. Those missions were okay, but they were kind of lame, and they got really frustrated sometimes when you had to like chase them through stuff. It's kind of lame and kind of frustrating, but okay, I guess. Um, what else to say about the chasing missions? I guess, man, there was something I was gonna say. What was it? I don't remember. um. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, why is there only bikes in this game? There's bikes and helicopters. Two things: bikes and helicopters, and one truck. Why doesn't anybody have like a car or something like that? I get the roads are full with cars and stuff like that, but certain people have a car, maybe a horse, maybe a bicycle. I'm just saying, I would like to see more varieties of traffic because it's only been like 2 years since the outbreak, I think. In the story, they explain that. So, there should be more things of traffic in there. Just saying, maybe some planes overhead. Uh, but whatever, I guess. That's just a little nitpick I had. There should have been more forms of traffic in there. I'm pretty sure most cars wouldn't break down after 2 years. But whatever, I guess. And then the third mission I didn't like the least was the escort missions. Some of the escort missions were actually okay because the character that you were escorting could not get killed pretty much. But some of them were really stupid and annoying because the character would fight with you and they would be getting hurt. So you had to constantly protect this character and kill people for him or her because you're just like, don't kill this person. I have to kill these people before you get there so you don't die. Um, so they were mildly annoying. I don't know, but I guess that's the AI's fault, I guess. Maybe make your AI a little bit better, or maybe follow instructions, which we couldn't give in the first place, sadly. Okay, so now let's move on uh, to controls. So that's the missions. The missions, okay, except for a few of them. And the hordes, I forgot to mention. There were two horde ones that I did like, okay? Oh, the horde missions, there were two horde ones I did like. The first one was when I went to this farm, I think, or something like that, or a golf course or something. It was a mass gravesite. There was a horde there. But it had lots of explosives around it, which is really cool. So it didn't take me that long to beat it because it had lots of explosives around it. It was a wide open space instead of in a cave or anything like that. And it was really cool. It was really fun. And I actually beat it pretty easily. It was fun. And then the second one was at this mill farm. And the reason why I liked this one, it wasn't because there was a bunch of explosives, which there were a few, but not a lot. It was because it gave me the option to go in, kill them, and then leave, get supplies, go back, kill them, leave, get supplies, go back and kill them over and over again. See, that's a good mechanic. See, that's just chipping at it a little bit at a time, you know. That's what I thought was a good mechanic. I was just like, oh, so I can go in, I can kill this much of them, so I can get the hell out of there, and I can get more supplies, more explosives and stuff, go back and kill them again. That's a great mechanic. I think more games should do something like that because as soon as you enter a mission, usually it says like you're going too far away from this mission, you fail. And that horde was gigantic. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that they gave me the option to go there, kill a few, run away, come back, kill a few, run away, come back. You know, keep on back and forth sort of thing. I enjoyed that they did that because that just made it more enjoyable to me. That I could actually have the option to get away, get supplies, come back. I liked those Pacific Horde missions. Those were implemented right, in my opinion. um, and then that's the end of missions. So let's move on to controls. The controls are pretty average, I would say. Just average controls, you know, walk forward, hit like melee and stuff. Let's talk more about like melee and gunplay. So I really enjoyed the melee, except for the fact that my melee weapons broke almost instantly after I hit like a few people. They just broke, which is kind of stupid if you think about it, because a baseball bat, let's be realistic, it wouldn't break that easily. It's meant to hit very hard balls that are harder than humans, but against a human or a freaker, my baseball bat eventually breaks. I get why they did that. I just feel like games should be more realistic on this. And plus, I can repair my baseball bat and stuff like that with scrap. That doesn't make sense. How do you repair a wooden baseball bat with scrap, I guess? I don't know. Maybe I just felt like it should be a little bit more realistic. And be like, hey guys, a baseball bat wouldn't break after I beat 10 people up with it. I'm just saying, after I killed 10 people with a baseball bat, it wouldn't snap in half. Even if it was 2 years old, it probably wouldn't snap in half unless it was really, really badly damaged already. I'm pretty sure someone could do that, and like it was a real baseball bat, and it wouldn't do that. But in all these survival games, man, these things break like freaking twigs. And plus, why is it taking me so much hits to kill these people? At first it was until I upgraded my skills, obviously. But at first it was taking me so much hits. Either I was really weak, or these people had the thickest skin and the thickest bones ever. Because I'm sorry to say, but if you're getting hit by a baseball bat by someone, most people would break at least a bone or two in you if they swing a baseball bat at full force at you. I'm just saying, that's what would happen. And some of these other things would hurt even more, like a machete. Like, why is it taking me so much hit with a machete? 2 hits with a machete, 2 hits with an axe, at first until you upgrade your things, and then it's like one hit. But it's kind of ridiculous how these things worked and then broke after. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the melee system because it was really fun actually. The melee system was fun. I enjoyed beating the crap out of people and freakers with my melee weapons. The only thing I didn't enjoy is like the rate of the breaking and then having to like repair them and stuff like that. It was kind of dumb. Not realistic, I guess, but the game's not realistic. It's a zombie apocalypse or a freaker apocalypse. And then we have gunplay. Now the gunplay is kind of average to be honest. It's nothing to special. It's one of the worst mechan. It's one of the worser mechanics in the game. But it gets beat out. The worst mechanic in the game is the motorcycle play, the motorcycle thing. So at first, the motorcycle takes a bit to get used to, okay, but you can get used to it. But it's actually very annoying because it's like very clunky sometimes. And if you hit the smallest thing, you'll go flying off. I know the motorcycle glitched out a few times and flipped and like threw me off and stuff like that. The motorcycle is it kind of reminds me of Grand Theft Auto horses sometimes when you run into like just trees and walls because your horse is an idiot. It kind of reminds me of that, but with a motorcycle instead. It's not the best mechanics with the motorcycle, and I feel like they have a lot of work. But I did enjoy the motorcycle because if you haven't noticed on the game, if you have the game, once you upgrade your motorcycle, it's actually the home screen when you log back into the game. After you turn the game back off and then turn it back on, when it like loads into like the home screen, it will be your motorcycle. So that's pretty cool. Although you can't name your motorcycle sadly, but I named it. I named it Nuke Boy because it was awesome. But yeah, you can upgrade the motorcycle pretty easily, and it actually has some pretty good stuff, and it's pretty fun to use, I guess. And it's pretty cool to see your upgraded motorcycle, and especially on the home screen when you start. That's pretty cool little detail there, I thought. So, pretty cool. Should have been implemented better. By the way, they're totally going for a sequel in the story. Just saying that right now. I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say the ending to it. There's like an ending, and then there's ending sort of thing. And the ending has a sequel bait to it. Just saying. Okay, so let's go to the glitches now. Okay, so this was probably the most frustrating part of the game, was the glitches. These ranged from kind of funny to nothing pretty much, to annoying to game breaking, okay? It ranged in these three categories. Kind of funny, but really nothing, annoying, and then game breaking. That was what it ranged to, and it was ridiculous how much glitches this game had in it. To be honest, I think the developers probably should have spent another year or a year and a half to 2 years on this project before they released it. They probably shouldn't have said they were going to release it because they had a lot of bugs that they needed to fix, for sure. Because it was ridiculous the amount of bugs in this thing. It kind of felt like a almost finished indie project where you like pre-buy it and you get to like use it before it's actually finished. It kind of felt like that, but better than most of them. But it still had its fair share of bugs. Okay, so let's go into the annoying bugs first. So the most annoying bugs was like the pop-ins. Most of the time it would just be like grass and bushes, so it wouldn't really matter that much. But sometimes it would be like big things like trees and rocks, and even once in a while the tunnels that you go through will pop in and out, and cars will pop in and out. It's kind of ridiculous that way. Those pop in, pop out sort of thing, and sometimes you'll crash into them. Sometimes you'll actually drive into it, and then when it pops back in, you'll be inside of it, and you'll just freak out. It does have this big glitch. So that was really annoying. They should really work on that. The shrubbery stuff and the plant life popping in, pretty okay, except when it was like a tree or something like that. But pretty okay. That's fine, I guess. It's a work in progress, I would say. But the other stuff, when it popped in, it could end up being really bad for you. So yeah, that was bad. And then there was these annoying glitches with the enemies sometimes, where you would get attacked. This mostly happened to me with the wolves, by the way, where you would definitely attack them first, but then they would attack you, or you would kill them, but then they would kill you. I've had this happen several times where I literally killed an enemy. It was lying on the ground, but then all of a sudden I died from it, even though it was already dead. It was kind of dumb. It also had this sound glitch every once in a while where the sound would just cut out and then cut back in. Kind of ridiculous, to be honest. It had some lag. I guess that's not really a glitch, but we're going to put it in this category. It had some lag. Luckily, not in the place that you would think it would have, like in the hordes. It did have a little bit with the hordes, like sometimes, but for a majority of the part, the lag was all in the camps. When you went to the camps, your PC, not your PC, sorry, your your PlayStation will be very, very laggy. Like you'll run past certain places in them and you'll be super laggy. It was kind of ridiculous. It could have used some fine tuning here and there. There was a lot of lag in the camps. Luckily, not with the hordes and not with the majority of the game, but in the camps, lots of lag. There's even a few times where my game completely stalled because of it, and it just like froze for like a few seconds to a minute straight, and then it finally rendered again. So that was a big problem with it. So yeah, like there's lag. Sometimes things kill you without you really knowing. Uh, and just the pop-ins and stuff like that, ridiculous. And then let's move on to the game-breaking glitches. I've only had two of these. One isn't really game-breaking, but one was definitely game-breaking. So the first one wasn't really game-breaking. Basically what happened is I drove my bike to a mission place that I was trying to go to. On the way there, I got killed. Had to restart the place I was before, but then this mission would not pop back up, right? So I had to play the game for about half an hour to 40 minutes or so, and I had to do like a mission somewhere else. I had to do like a average side mission, pretty much, before this mission would pop back up, which was kind of ridiculous, and I thought the game was broken for sure, but luckily I spent my time with it and I got it to rework itself. So if you have a problem like that, just spend your time with it and it should be able to rework itself, or load into like a previous save that's pretty close to that point, you know, and eventually it will rework itself. But it's kind of ridiculous that it took that long for this mission to pop back up, even though I just died once and then this mission would not pop back up for another 40 minutes. Now that is kind of ridiculous, guys. So yeah, that was one of the big game breakers there. Almost. But the one that was absolutely a game breaker was when I was doing a mission for a certain someone. I was collecting supplies for her. As I was going back to her, the game was supposed to give me this certain dialogue on the radio. It didn't. And when I got back, I could not deliver these supplies to her. I could only sleep. I could go back out and kill people, but I couldn't pause the game even. I couldn't pause the game, save it. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't pause the game or save it. I could only do like the basic stuff, and I couldn't accept any other missions. It was kind of ridiculous, and the game was completely broken. I couldn't pause the game and like back to the menu. So what I had to do was go to my PlayStation's main menu screen, turn off the game itself, and then restart it. And then I had to replay the mission again from a save file that was before the mission for it to work. So that was a big game-breaking glitch, but I got it to work again, luckily, by having to like basically turn it off, turn it back on, sort of thing. And I should not have to do that with the game. I'm sorry to say, but I should not have to do that with the game. So that was bad. You got to work on these things. And I feel like they needed more production time to work on these things. So that's all I have for the glitches, really. Some were fun, but a lot were annoying to game breaking. But it could have been better, obviously. Let's talk about the graphics. The graphics aren't the best. They're not the best I've ever seen in a PlayStation 4 title, for sure. And they're not even the best I've ever seen in general, because like the best you can get is obviously on PC. But they aren't the best graphics, but they're okay for what they are, you know, they're okay. But the real question is the game fun or not? And I would say the game is definitely fun, if not a little bit, uh, not really difficult at times, but kind of just like stupid at times. And sometimes it just has like these ridiculous amounts of hordes in these in the places. Sorry about that little jump there. But as I was saying, the game can be a little bit ridiculous at times because of all the hordes and stuff that you have to fight. Some of them are like way too big, and like I guess for some people it's a challenge, but for some people it's just annoying. And for me, it was pretty annoying. It was just like, why do you need to put that much there? Why? But whatever, I guess it's more realistic that way, I guess. Although other parts of it isn't really realistic. But yeah. Um, there's some other stuff, I guess, like the camp systems are okay. They could have been better. Like, why can't I buy health at the camp systems? I don't know why. There's like doctors at some of them. So why can't I buy health? I can buy it from the gun store, I guess. But that's kind of dumb, to be honest. Why am I buying health from the gun store when I can just go to the doctor to buy health? And why doesn't my health like regenerate when I like sleep or something like that? Just saying, that's kind of dumb. Or maybe that was a perk that I never got because I only focused on guns and melee really. So I got all those perks. I didn't get really any of the survival perks. So maybe that is a perk, but I never got it. Um, but yeah, the camping systems are okay. They're not the best. You basically go to people, talk to them, and then you get like your stuff, you buy stuff, or you go on another mission. The side mission, they're all kind of just the same, really. Just kind of lackluster. Um, not really that good, but they do raise up your camp score and obviously give you more money in camp. But by the end, you don't really need the money because you already have all the special guns that you need, so you don't really need the money for the camp because you already have all your guns and your motorcycle will already be pretty much pimped out to the max. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. Um, what else about the camp system? I guess nothing else about the camp system. There is something else about the mission system that I got really annoyed about. Was like sometimes there was a mission at the beginning of a camp when I wanted to go into the camp and get like ammo and stuff like that, but it would force me to go to the mission because the mission always forces you to. As soon as you hit that little icon, it forces you to go to the mission. What I personally think should have happened is like the similar things to the camp. I should have been able to go to the mission icon, hold down a button, and then I entered into the mission instead of just being pushed into the mission automatically. I'm just saying it would have been easier and better that way because then we could have avoided those missions, went into the camp, and got the stuff instead of going like just getting sucked right into a mission. I don't like when games just suck you into missions, okay? They need to have like a prompt to put you into the mission, in my personal opinion. I would like a prompt to put me into the mission. And some of these missions were pretty great at first because it was just like black screen, then mission. Some of the cutscenes were like not really the best because they're like badly edited and stuff like that. Especially like the beginning cutscenes, like at one point we're like running for our lives sort of thing, and then at the next point we're at the helicopter. It was kind of ridiculous. It was kind of like what happened in between that time. I don't get to see what happened in between that time, but no, you don't. Um, and some of them were kind of stupid and like low voiced, I guess, because all you could hear was the characters kind of mumbling as the loud sound in the background went off. It was kind of ridiculous. It was like everything else was screaming, and you're just like, or more like, yes, that's what you do, guys. Yes, I was just like, what? Like, what's happening? It was kind of ridiculous on some of those. The story mission, again, as I said, was kind of average, kind of predictable. Uh, so, and also the camps aren't realistic in the slightest because one camp has like a back entrance that's totally open and also a horde of zombies always goes past that back entrance, but yet none of them has ever come to the camp, and plus the camp makes a bunch of noise, but no zombies ever get, or sorry, not zombies, freakers, no freakers ever get there for some reason. One camp has like a small river across from it, and the freakers don't get across the river, even though they basically hoard up and they can crawl over each other. That's kind of dumb, I guess. But then again, what zombie game does have realistic camps? Barely any of them. Let's be honest. I mean, this game really reminded me of Dying Light, I guess. You know, it really did remind me of Dying Light, except for a few differences, obviously. And their camps were kind of ridiculous. And you thought like I thought most of the time like, why aren't the monsters coming into this camp? I don't know because video game logic, I guess. Video game logic. The camp's safe from everything. It was just kind of ridiculous, I guess. Just kind of dumb, ridiculous. You know. Um, So yeah, the camps were okay, not the best. They were where you got supplies and stuff, even though you couldn't get everything from the camps. Uh, but yeah, the game all in all, it was okay. The crafting system is okay. The gameplay is okay. But it was fun. That's the main point. It was fun. Was it fun or not fun? It was pretty damn fun. And I had a good time putting my hours into this, and by the end, I was actually pretty invested in the story, and I actually wanted to kill the people I wanted to kill, and I wanted to save the people I wanted to save, instead of not actually giving a damn about them in the first place. So yeah, at the end, I did have a lot of fun, and I would actually suggest buying this game. Maybe not right now, but my range for this game, 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 5 being average, 10 being the best, I'm going to give this a 7.9. It's not exactly a 6 because it's not almost average, but it's not exactly an 8 or a 9. It's not like super good. It's just pretty good. It's not super good. It's just pretty good. I would even say it's slightly above good. It's pretty good. um, I enjoyed it. I had a fun time, but there's a lot of problems with it. I would suggest buying this game, but I would also suggest waiting for it to go on sale for like I'd probably spend like 30 to 40 bucks on this game to be honest. 50 at the most, but 30 to 40 bucks. So I would suggest waiting until it goes on sale till that point. But then again, if you want to play this game right now, go ahead because it's actually a pretty fun game. And I would give my recommended seal on this if I had a recommended seal. That's my recommended seal, this thumbprint. And this game has not been playing in the background this whole time, has it? I thought it was. It's just been me moving my hands around. I hope you guys enjoyed that part. um, but yeah, it's okay. It's an okay experience. It's pretty cool, pretty fun. And yeah, I would just say it's a 7.9 out of 10. Not as bad as some people are saying it is. A lot better than some people are saying it is. But it is fun. But in my personal opinion, I would wait till it's on sale. And the cliffhanger at the end definitely leaves room for a sequel. And what is that sequel? I'm not sure. And there's also a part where a certain person wants to cure them, even though that's really stupid because half of them are like deformed. Some of them have like their stomach gouged out. Some of them have like their nose gone. And I was just thinking like, how are you going to cure them if when you do it, they're going to be in massive amounts of pain. As soon as you turn back to human from that, you're going to be in a massive amount of pain and it's going to be really dumb. But whatever, I guess. That's a plot to the game. I guess if they cure them, they'll heal that stuff or something like that. Although most of them might die from that stuff, but whatever. That was just a kind of dumb plot point to the game, I thought. But yeah, like, if this game gets a sequel, I will probably definitely buy it. Hopefully, they will take some of my consideration, some of my comments into consideration. I don't know if they're going to watch this, obviously, but if they do, hopefully they do take some of that into consideration. But, I hope they work on it more next time. And they don't release it when they're not ready, because they definitely weren't ready this time. They should have took like another year, maybe two, just to get it done. I'm just saying, don't release it. I get the money and stuff like that, but sometimes you just gotta wait on it, you know? If you want to make a good price, you should wait on it. But pretty good. Anyways, guys, that is my review. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell notification because you want to see my content. Go down to the link below. Go to my Twitter. Follow me. And as always, my friends, stay sane. Peace. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, because I know I did. But anyways, I hope you liked it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell for notifications, and that's pretty much it. Do it because she wants you to, and I do too. So subscribe, watch the videos, hit one of these things on the screen right now. Okay, bye-bye, peace.